Hi guys, I am Guiding Energy. Welcome to my channel. Have you ever wondered what you can do with the numbers that are in your birthday? Here is a method that I had learned over 7 years ago when I had a spiritual awakening. I didn't understand how is it that I understood numerology. How is it that I understood astrology? And even from a younger age, in a young age, I had been able to see what's behind the veil. The veil has always been very thin, if not just gone for me. And so when I had my awakening, I was able to tap into many gifts that I did not know I had. And for me, it was just another tool in my tool belt in order to communicate with my spirit team, in order to receive messages from my spirit team, as well as use it to predict, also to manifest. I've also used this method and seen different karmic encounters that I was going to have, and how can I get ahead of it in order to balance those scales. So this might seem a little weird looking, but for me it works. I have this thing where I don't Google, I don't research anything until after I've experienced it. Because as we all know, the mind could be very tricky. For instance, some people that see a commercial that says, you know, if you have this going on or this going on, you know, then you have that kind of illness or something, and all of a sudden that person thinks that they have it, right? So for me, I've always used the way of letting my spirit team guide me, and then after I've experienced these things enough to know solidly that yes, this is my experience and not someone else telling me I am experiencing it, I've felt a lot more comfortable with pursuing than looking to see, is there anything else out there that I could learn from this? And so with this, I have been able to use this in a way that now I could look at just things, even a banner in the mundane world. It could be something on TV, a song, whatever it is, and there could be certain numbers that vibration resonates with me because, as you see, it's in this chart. Or there could be things that I could see on a product that I'm using. And this has happened a few times where I broke down certain things on just with my birthday, and then looking at this product and wondered, why is it that it's causing me problems? And it's because my body, it wasn't energetically aligned with it. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't always have to be the case, but for me, this has shown a lot of potential towards those kinds of movements, towards things that not necessarily are for me, but there's also that other side where I see certain numbers that pop up, and it's something that I could be really just, let's just say, some type of perfume or something, anything like that. And there's certain numbers that have been broken down to then show different messages within that. So I know that, okay, this is why I like it so much. And again, this is not always the case. After experiencing these kinds of patterns and things like that, you will start to learn how to use your intuition. And again, with me, I am pulled towards something from just energy, because energy is always, it's always around us. Everything's energy. So when I have a message that my spirit team wants me to know, maybe my head's too clouded, maybe I'm thinking of too many other things, maybe I have so much stuff on my mind that I'm missing a message, and I will be pulled towards something. It could be something on television, it could be something on a bottle, anything. And I instantly will use one tool, this one tool, along with other things that I know, to then start decoding what message I'm being told. And so this has started, like I said, for me many years ago. And I have seen someone or a few people use just the top method where you just add, the numbers of your birthday down. And I've never seen anything like my decoding, but again, it's because I've been walked through with my spirit team to see it. And I guess for me, like a lot of things that happen is after I experience it, I will see something of that somewhere else to then let me know, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm not just doing something, that has no meaning or anything like that, or I'm doing it right. So when I seen this come across, and I wasn't looking for, and that's another thing, I wasn't looking for it, popped up and I seen it and I was like, oh, okay. And so this is what you just do. For me, I call it my base number because I've seen this number, and then you could Google even what that base number means for you, what number you get by adding those digits. You can then start Googling just the vibration, because again, energy is vibration, and those vibrations, energy is always going and doesn't die. So you could see what that number relates to. In this case, it's 40. And there is a lot of history that happens with this number. And you also, there's another method, I forgot to put it down, or another step. You could also just add the first two digits, and a lot of people, they call it your karmic number. You can also see certain numbers and patterns show up inside your chart once you decode it. Again, I have used this method in order to see the numbers that have that vibration. When I first started actually looking into tarot and astrology, or not astrology, but just the tarot and oracle readings, I was drawn into not necessarily knowing how to pick based off of what they were showing, but the numbers and the timestamps. And I've tried to do several things just to make sure that that was working for me with the way I chose that particular reading by the timestamp. Was I also seeing if it resonated, and the things that that person was saying, did any of it resonate? And at the time it did, but I also did just look at other ways of doing it by just say looking at a photo. But again, these are things that I use this method when I'm not necessarily energetically pulled towards something, because again, there just might be something I'm trying to research. Like when I was looking at, excuse me, when I was just looking at tarot and oracle readings, it was just something that I wanted to research, but then I wanted to learn and see from experience how this works. And I've used this again for numerous things. I've also used this method for other people that, of course, they have gave me the green light to use, break down their chart. And I've seen how we were energetically entwined at that moment, because you could combine both charts of you and another person. And by adding certain numbers, again, I was, the way I've done this was through my spirit team. And so it was not something that I just knew how to do or knew what it meant. It was just something I knew how to do. But I kept learning more and more as time went on, because I would be pulled to actually do things in order to get that experience, in order to know how it is that I am using these. And I've been able to predict other people's travels. I've done that with someone's chart where they did not even know that they were going somewhere, and I broke down their chart and combined even with mine, because we were in this energetic, I just call bubble. So I knew that that person's energy and mine combined would have information. And sure enough, I came up with the exact state that person was going to. I also was able to see through this method by looking at someone's chart, using also the numbers broken down to, you can compare it with different things with your tarot, not tarot, with your astrology, with your birth chart. And so if you don't have that, you can always Google it and find out and get a free chart, and you can see how these numbers make sense to you. And so with this base number, I then learned how to read the numbers just based off my base number in order to put things into words. And again, this was the step that started very early on in the process, to the point now where it's not just base numbers, it's not just your base number, but it's actually learning that communication with your spirit team on how to read different messages that you might be drawn to. If they are in numeric, you will be able to break it down and see what it means, with words. And then if it is in words, you then use this base system also to even look at the time, the actual physical time of what, something could happen, like something with the music. For instance, I could get a message from music, and there's a certain number that it's showing, and then there's another message that I'll be immediately drawn to. It's like synchronistic, the way that everything fits, and sure enough, it will actually be something tangible. It's real, it's happening. And I don't use this method just, off the hand and just say, oh, okay, here's this message because I have these numbers. It's an energetic pull that your guides are guiding you to in order to know that there's something there for you to see. So again, there's obviously more. That's just an example of the base number with the 40. And I've been able to see different, even through experience, different karmic encounters that I was going to experience. Now again, this is not just it. There's always, this is just the beginning. You would then add in, obviously, well, not obviously, but you would then add in the year on top of that, and you would just fit the year in there numerically correct. So let's just say for 2021, you would use the 20 and 21 to get certain numbers, and you could also just use 21. It's all up to you. It depends on how in depth you are going. And for me, I'm pulled to know what to do, because again, I didn't learn this from anywhere. I just was taught this. And it's for those that have experienced this, you understand what I mean. It's just you are pulled to do something. Your spirit team is trying to guide you in something, and you don't quite understand it, but you are just in action, right? And you're just doing it, and it just somehow it actually makes sense. Like with me, I didn't know how is it that I knew astrology. And the reason what led into astrology was actually by learning this. And then certain numbers, I just was pulled to break down certain numbers that had to do with astrology. So let's just say even things that myth started coming into play as well. Because mythology was one of the things that there were certain words connected with it. And through that, I've been able to chart things all the way back to just mythical creatures, so to speak, and just different energies that carry that vibration that are within my chart. So let me know if you guys have seen anything like this. Let me know down in the comments. And also, I'm trying to see what else is it that I can tell you, because again, this is something that I just knew how to do, and I'm not saying that this is all that there is. I just know from experience, and everyone that I've used this with, that's been quite a few people, that it has been very helpful for me. I haven't actually I don't know anyone that's done this on their own, so let me know in the comments if you guys have done anything like this or experienced anything when you break down your number and decode it. Is there anything that within this that resonates with you? So I will try to teach, I guess, how to do this. Again, it's difficult for me just because it was something I have been taught, and I had to learn different steps of this for over 7 years. So I don't quite exactly know how to teach someone as more so just how to do it for someone and see what I see, because again, the veil has always been very, very thin for me since, birth. And so there's just certain things that I feel energetically that gives me the green light on what to look for, what to do next. Or I could be doing something and then I'm guided to type, Google a certain name or something like that, and then those numbers, it's a lot to try to explain. And teaching's not my forte. However, I'll try to do my best as time goes on, just to explain and show you guys how my spirit team connects with me. There's so many exciting ways, so many things that you guys could do too that are a lot more simpler than this. However, I just wanted to show one of the first things that I did that has worked for me. And if you guys want me to go into detail and try my best on explaining how to do this, I will. So leave me a comment and let me know. If not, I will just leave it like this, and you guys could kind of see and get the idea. There's a lot of just adding and subtracting and then breaking down numbers. So again, I hope that I've been able to explain it. I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of things out, but I'm trying my best here. And then again, your base number, and you can also add those first two numbers and then get the base of that, because again, it's just learning how to speak and turn the numbers into words. And eventually, by doing this, you'll be able to pick up on things like, again, being pulled towards a show. I might not even want to watch the show, but I'll be pulled energetically towards it because there's an actual message inside of that movie or inside of that show. And even though I don't want to watch it, I know that there's something there because there's certain numbers that have been synchronistic for me that's pulling me towards there. And then I always get the message once I see it. So that's just one of the many, many, many ways of how this works. So I hope you guys keep shining your inner light and check back in, and also please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful day, evening, or night. Take care.